say definitively that religions are all bullshit.
Welcome to Brainstorm.
We have the explicit tag for a reason.
This is a base level argument to a higher level of morality.
I get paid to science?
To science as much as one can science.
What the hell was my point?
Trigger warning. The Brainstorm Podcast will criticize your most cherished beliefs. We attack nonsense in all its forms and discuss difficult subjects. If you peddle pseudoscience, supernatural woo, or religious dogma, then this is not your safe place. This is the home of hardcore skepticism.
All right. To those of you listening live and to our patrons, welcome back. For those listening weekly, welcome to Shift to Reason Radio, Brainstorm production that tries to educate and inform. We'll take current events, important skeptical topics, and try to analyze them critically. Remember, we're live on brainstormradio.net every second Friday, and today is March 2nd, 2018. I'm Destin. I'm still joined by Lisa.
It's me.
Rene.
Hello.
Basit.
Hey.
Brandon.
Hello.
And the, once again, amazing Dave.
Slightly more amazing now.
Slightly more amazing. Remember to go to our website and tell Corey why he should be replaced by me, but he should still do all the work. No?
That's hilarious.
I was waiting for somebody else.
Yeah, no, that was kind of a weak burn.
And then crickets.
I didn't feel like throwing any burns at Corey this time because, like,
Why?
Is your heart just not in it?
no, because he made me do it again after I burned him last time, so maybe he won't make me do this again.
Okay. Trying a different tack.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck you, Corey. All right, so we'll go into the Woo report.
No.
Okay, so we won't go into the Woo report.
Oh, okay, Dave.
I'm not a scientist, but if I can tell you your science sucks, your science really sucks.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
Crisis actors, hey?
Yes. Okay, this one, I'm not 100% sure whether to take this one at face value or what. But anyway, what this article is talking about is the idea that, okay, with the recent mass shootings in Parkland in Florida, once again, the whole thing of crisis actors and false flags and all the conspiracy shit has popped up once again. Thank you, Alex Jones, you asshole. In this article, they're talking about how, even though this is the conspiracy theories are always bringing this stuff up, we do have the technology now to actually create these false flags. They have technology. They claim to have technology that they can do, like digital mapping to make lips move on different videos and stuff like that. In it, they gave examples where they have an AI that can do it for, and they did it for speeches for Obama, where they took an older speech and remapped it,
like voice synthesis sort of thing.
Yeah. And there is this thing where they're talking about, they even brought it up in the article, and I've read a different article about it. They call them deep fakes, where they basically take celebrities' faces and put them onto porn stars' faces. They digitally map them on there. So
how would he know that?
It was an article.
I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow does hardcore.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know.
How would you know that?
Yeah.
I mean, she can fit a big ass jade egg. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to ponder it too much.
For her, DP means double pepperoni.
Yeah, but because there was an article about how Pornhub was saying that they're going to take all the deep fake videos off their sites, but they haven't yet.
Because people keep clicking.
Yeah, because people probably keep clicking, you know. But it's one of those things where, and mind you, the other thing when I was reading it I thought of was how they mapped Lena Headey's face. You know, that the walk of shame, the atonement in Game of Thrones. that she didn't do that. That was a body double, and they digitally mapped her face onto the body double. They filmed her in L.A., and they digitally mapped her face onto the actress that had walked down the streets in, where was that, Croatia, I think, where they filmed it. At any rate, they took
her face
off. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Faceless man. But so the technology's there for them to possibly do what the conspiracy theorists are saying they're doing, which is kind of scary, because like, if they can fake it that well, how can we trust news? You know, like it brings up a kind of a weird, icky kind of thought, you know.
Well, this isn't the first conspiracy theory where the technology has existed. The problem with a lot of conspiracy theories is that it often requires too many people to not get some sort of leak.
Yeah. That's
well, and what makes a conspiracy theory legit as a conspiracy theory? Plausibility.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't, even like the whole crisis actor thing, it makes no sense. You know,
because it's national news and exactly what they're claiming would happen, even if it wasn't a conspiracy theorist who pointed it out. Well, it's like, that's Bob again on another CNN report about another shooting. I'm sure they can find different actors if they really wanted to.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Like, I mean, that was one of the things they said that this, the one guy who, it was really weird, was they were trying to say that he was a crisis actor because, 6 months before he was in California and was on a local news story there because one of his friends got into a disagreement with the lifeguard. But because he was on TV in California and now on TV in Florida, he's obviously a crisis actor, but
of course,
but the article is more about how the technology exists that they could conceivably fake the news, which is really disturbing. Like, I mean, with
fake the news in the way the conspiracy theory describes
the way they want it to. Yeah. Now, like I said, I read the article a couple times and I wasn't 100% sure which way they were going with it, but
you ever watch Wag the Dog?
That's the other thing that came to my mind was that movie, although I only saw bits and pieces of it.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen this one.
The government, to maintain popularity, invented a war.
In the movie.
In the movie.
Okay. No, I'm just thinking of
yeah, they did that in Iraq, too.
Oh, yeah. Except people actually died.
Except people actually died, and it didn't really help with popularity.
You make a movie? Not this time, pal. There's the fuck out of those people.
That's actually one of the things that worries me about year 3 of Trump is like, what's good for numbers? War? Let's do that. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
He's already trying to pick how many fights, but
all of them?
Yeah.
He's picking fights with people he appointed already. He's pissed at Sessions. Like, he is picking every fight he can.
It's kind of hard to debate against those videos because...
Well, that's just it is, because we're such a we're like, the mass... majority of people are like, oh, it's not on TV, so it's got to be true. So it does create some unsettling ideas of
from what I've seen, most of the real crisis actors that they talk about are women. And I think it mostly comes, like, even the people that aren't idiots that see this, they'll see a brunette with shoulder-length hair wearing a pair of Uggs, some Lululemon, with contoured makeup. Because that's what every fucking woman wears that has the means for it.
Yeah.
Right? The schools that get shot up aren't in East fucking Detroit.
Which is kind of ironic.
Because Lokisha is going to look different than Becky.
Oh my God, Becky.
Right? And I think a lot, because that brunette looks like the same brunette in every single shooting.
Yeah.
They're different people. Yeah. That's what middle-aged or slightly younger than middle-aged.
Middle-aged. There's a Freudian slip.
Destin's 21 Jump Street moment.
Yeah, whatever. That latte sipping, UGG wearing.
It's actually Channing Tatum.
You know, when you have makeup trends and the makeup is put on fairly thick when you're doing stuff like contouring, everybody's going to look basically the same.
Yeah.
I look like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we look identical. Right?
We got the
I can't even tell us apart.
Yeah.
It's mostly the eyebrow.
Yeah.
Just the one eyebrow.
But I mean, it's still weird. It's still a weird thing that, you know, they have this mass shooting, which is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, no, it's not a thing. It's crisis actors. They faked it. It's a false flag. It's the government doing it so they can take their guns. But yet the government has done absolutely nothing with gun control for the last 10, 15 years.
Ever.
All the crisis actors, none of the effect.
Like, it just, if you think about it for a second, it makes no sense. But it's still.
And these are probably people in their basements, just like, yes, of course. I figured it all out.
Yeah. I mean, it's still unsettling to think that the technology exists that they could make it look pretty convincing. I mean, right now, a lot of what the examples they gave in the article, they're, you know, just a little off, but, you know.
Yeah. I see where that would be a problem, but aside from the crisis actor thing, I don't think it's going to be used for that.
Yeah.
I think you'll see truly faked interviews and whatnot.
Well, they do mention that in the article too. That they could be faked interviews and whatnot. Like,
we could watch new Charlton Heston movies.
Please no.
Why?
He's had a similar character for like 30 years. Yeah. Just like the independent
blew it up.
man.
That's
You
struggling
bastards.
and so difficult.
You damn dirty ape.
You can't call that guy that. Why not? Well, because he's Samoan.
But yeah, I mean, it's an unsettling idea that they have this technology that they could possibly fake it. Although, once again, why the fuck would you? But this world is weird. And I think that's all I got to say about that.
Well, speaking of weird, you know what's weird? Raw water.
Yes.
Are we talking about this again?
Yeah.
It's Basit's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basit
That was a lead
gets
in
to
to Basit's story.
Basit gets to talk about raw water.
Gracias.
Is that it?
I don't know what to say, guys.
I've done that for my topic. Here's your topic. Here, blah, blah, blah.
Sigh.
Honest question to you guys. Who have any of you guys been roped in a pyramid scheme? Let's be honest.
Roped in?
Roped in, like...
Somebody convinced me to buy a Mazda.
Did it work?
No, that's
Yeah.
just that's.
Are you
just,
selling Mazdas now?
That's just a plain.
My
That's
mother-
plain an old.
I had to buy
rip-off.
like 5 Mazdas, and if I sold like 2 of them, I'd like make a profit. That's what he said.
No,
you go platinum when that happens.
No, I'm talking about like...
My mom joined a pyramid or multi-level marketing.
My partner's done it a couple times.
Yeah.
I've been
she's not allowed
introduced to
anymore.
it, but I didn't take.
Yeah, because they're all bullshit. None of them have anything to do with the product.
And
But
that's our story right there.
Oh, really?
Well, imagine like this, okay? You know, you have a friend you haven't talked to in a while. They send you a Facebook message. It's like, hey, how have you been? Let's hang out. I really miss you. It's like, and you generally think, oh my goodness, it's a get together.
Oh, you want to reconnect?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm having a few people over for a party here. You know, I started a side business, and you already have a suspicion. You know what you're getting to, but you already committed. So you go in there. You know, you bring some Coke over, Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Freudian slip again.
Yeah. You bring it over and you're all excited, and then they sit down. They give you a really nice dinner. They talk about their family. They have a newborn, and that they're really hoping their business explores, and then they just drop it in, and it's live water. I don't know what to say.
What is live water, Basit?
Well, live water is unfiltered water, essentially.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
The
there's no
founder-
essential. That's what it is.
And untreated.
Untreated. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you,
No,
sir.
unfiltered and untreated.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Mukandi Singh, the inventor, felt that.
How do you invent unfiltered water?
You know what? You can
developer.
I'm going to patent this water.
Also, I believe if you go look up a picture of this guy, he's a white guy. He changed his name.
He is gloriously white.
From whatever Mukandi Singh, he changed his name to that.
Wow.
He could have been
Is there a picture in your article?
No, it's a picture of the author who's very, very well.
Why do you say he changed his name?
I believe he changed his name. Sorry, because I believe that's my understanding that he. I did this. Like
it's a Singh is a Punjabi name, so it's kind of. Is he Punjabi at all?
Nope.
He's white.
Nope.
Wow. Singh means king.
Yeah, so. White doesn't mean you're not Punjabi. You could be adopted.
So his quote.
Just let the man talk.
I'm just listen. His
come
quote.
on.
Call me a conspiracy theorist.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
But it's a mind-controlling drug that has no benefit to our health, and he is talking about fluoride. Did you read this, Lisa?
I didn't read your article. I did an article on this like a few months ago on this podcast.
I'm going to say like you probably are shredding it apart in your head, right?
So I was talking to Rene about this before. He revels in the absurdity shit. I fucking hate it. I can't. I just have no patience for it. I'm like, fuck this. Like, this is so stupid. What the fuck?
So then he goes on to quote that since typically unfiltered water essentially has a lot of benefits to it, those microorganisms help, and that his life water turns green after some period of time, and that just shows that that's actually beneficial to us. What people don't realize is that there's a lot of filtration there, so we can drink it without getting sick. So essentially, that's his patent, and that's the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is a side business opportunity to sell this
patent.
Live water.
Sorry, so he's incorporating this raw water into multi-level marketing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if your Amway buddy ended up coming.
You don't know that's happening yet.
No. Have you heard of Shenzhen water? Because that's another one I've been seeing going around.
Which one?
Shenzhen water, I believe it's called.
What is that?
It's like it's one of those ones where it's the deionized type.
Oh yeah.
It does a thing and then it's better. Pay $400.
I prefer the oxygenated water.
I love like how we live in such a privileged society that we decide to get unfiltered water.
No, see, that's the next step. See, when you develop dysentery, that's just the all-natural weight loss program.
Yeah, but when you think about the last 150 years and all the public health and sanitation progress that we've made as a culture and as a species, and then think of like the wealthiest, dumbest people in society being like super gullible people just being like, oh yeah, like let's get rid of that. I mean, let's go back to the times before we had that.
I actually think similar reasoning is why we're seeing the resurgence of fascism is lack of witness.
You're gonna have to explain that.
The witness, the people who had to live and breathe and die through these awful things aren't around anymore to basically slap some sense into us.
Except for those people that live in fascist countries.
Yeah, but we don't talk to them because they're from other places.
Right.
How do you, so let's take a look at David Silverman's approach of compassion. How do you compassionately tell someone they're ruining their fucking life?
You tell them that they're ruining their fucking life. You don't have to be nice to be compassionate.
Yeah.
It is tough to communicate.
When I'm an asshole all the time, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I tend to be a jerk or an asshole.
No.
It's because I care.
I care about you too.
I kind of believe that.
That's what it is. It's me reaching out and trying to help.
Thanks, man. Means a lot.
I haven't done that with the guy that's trying to market water to people I know.
You know Makandi Singh?
No, a different guy. the one local I know. I hadn't heard about this live water guy before, but I feel like if you want to oppose it, you kind of get into a scientific lecture regarding what's in this water and what isn't in filtered tap water.
So the reason why I connected to multi-market leveling, if you go to any of these conventions, watch videos, there's people who go up there saying it cured cancer. And they'll actually say with a straight face, and they say, "I was
go collect your Nobel Prize."
Unbelievable, but they're feeding it to these people, and that's what they're buying.
The thing is, like, at least my guess is that they never did anything to. I was like, did you stop going to chemotherapy? Well, no.
Sorry, they should.
Mukandi Singh born Christopher Sanborn. We're just showing.
We just found it in stereo.
He looks like what's that? There's a guy doing comedy kind of bits in the same thing.
Looks like skinny James Franco.
He's a bullshit artist. Come on.
Yeah, there's a guy there's a guy whose videos pop out on Facebook. He does kind of a satirical of the guru type thing. He actually kind of looks like him.
Oh, the vegan guy you're talking about?
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to watch
He's a redhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He actually kind of looks like him.
Kind of. Yeah, he's probably who he's making fun of.
Christopher Sanborn.
That's Photoshop.
No, he can't possibly be that white. Actually. White as a snow lily.
But yeah, I mean, I think we've covered this one before, where like the whole idea is like that the reason is like because they're scared of the fluoride, and if it's unfiltered, then it's more closer to nature and it's better for you, and all the usual,
nature wants to kill you.
Yeah, the usual bullshit.
Now, the water is unfiltered. It's also untested, correct?
Yeah, it's unmarked.
Just raw from
what
the
if
source.
they get it from somewhere where fluoride occurs? Because it fucking occurs naturally.
Natural fluoride.
What happens if they get it from somewhere where there's like cows shitting upstream,
or high concentration of fluoride, which can kill you?
Are you talking about Viscana Lake or what?
Yeah, we could be. We could be.
I mean, Viscana Lake's pretty green, and that's what Life Water promotes right there.
Yeah. So we have a whole lake right in the middle of the city? My God, we could do it for nothing.
Exactly. Mukandi Singh would be proud.
Well, no, we'd be cutting to his margin.
Shh.
I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to sell his product in the States or in Canada. So because the FTA has probably shut that one down.
I can't believe stuff like this. I don't know. Someone that works.
It makes you hate people. It makes you hate all of fucking humanity because people are fucking stupid.
No, I was talking to a client today. I was talking to a client today, and honestly, I'm like just so fucking exhausted with work, right? I'm sure we've all been there. But he's talking about how his buddy joined a pyramid scheme, and he just knows how to sell. Making way more than us. And it just kind of like, in a way, tilts me.
So it sounds like he's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. And
No, but everyone who tries to get you to join a pyramid scheme has a buddy who knows how to sell, and he's making millions. Like that's the shtick,
no.
right? Like
we were making fun of him.
This
but
Mukandi Singh is selling these bottles for $60 a bottle. Like
this guy is going off. So, like he's rich. Well, I'm at least hypothetically speaking, but I don't know.
Have you heard my business pitch? My business idea?
Are you going to sell me Master? I love Masters.
No.
He will.
Yes.
I'll buy it.
Get the diamond coat.
That's not the business pitch I'm talking about.
I'll take the insurance as well.
We start, of course you will. You're for the bank, you have to. Wait, when you say this is a useless product, can you please speak into the microphone here? Mm-hmm. It's okay, your bosses aren't listening. Nobody listens to this show.
No.
David might still be listening.
Where's I going?
Corey, you're listening.
Business. I was saying that we should start our own homeopathic shop that sells all the homeopathic remedies, that does the cupping, that does all that stuff, and call it snake oil. And if you come to us with
honesty and bullshit,
if you come to us with your insurance claim, we will provide you with the service or with the product that you are claiming for your insurance. And whatever your insurance approves, as a gift and a token of saying thank you, we will give you half of it back in a Canadian Tire gift card or whatever.
Yeah, it's full proof. I don't know, man.
It's not even fraud because it's open and honest.
I hate that. I think that could work.
It would work. It's hilarious. It's so, and people would come.
Have you heard of this new snake oil shop?
You know, when I worked at Investors Group, I started off believing.
You started off with IG?
Yeah. I started believing I was making a difference. I was going to help people get out of debt and all that, right?
And then you went to work for Primerica.
And then,
yes, essentially that's what happened. It's like, you're your own business. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to do some financial analysis. No, you're not. You're just going to move assets here. What's wrong with you? You're a sales guy. And that's how I go, like, that's when I knew I need to get out. But essentially, all finance jobs are kind of like sales jobs then. It's the computers do all the analysts, so.
It's a sales job with more paperwork.
Lots of paperwork.
All right. Well, I think we pretty much killed
Basit.
raw water. So here we'll take an ad break. Hey, why don't you hit that ad break there, Dave?
What?
Ad.
I'm in control here.
Stay alert.
I'm in control.
Stay safe.
He controls the vertical.
I was
and the horizontal too.
He just didn't have a very resolute sounding. Let's take an ad break.
He's going to make a couch potato out of me.
Can I have a gummy?
If you like what we're doing and want to help us keep the lights on, go become a patron. Patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. You can hear the bonus half hour that we record every episode and get a shout out when you support the show. Become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. Or you can support the show by ordering a t-shirt, mug or other gear from our store at caffeepress.ca/Brainstorm Podcast gear. If you can't afford to become a patron or buy gear, then why not give us a rating or write a review on iTunes or Stitcher? Every rating makes it easier for people to find us. Thanks for your support.
The Hardcore Skeptic Examines is a bi-monthly documentary-style podcast that includes interviews, research, and commentary from your host, Corey Johnston. That's me. As the host of the Brainstorm Podcast, I've spent the last 3+ years trying to spread critical thinking and skepticism while having fun. This project is intended to look at some of those same topics covered by Brainstorm, but a bit deeper. With the long intervals between episodes and the long format, I'm hoping to provide good information that educates as well as entertains. Check out my Patreon for more details at www.patreon.com/hardcoreskeptic or follow my Twitter at hardcoreskeptic.
Hey everybody, we're the Utah Outcasts, and we want you to listen to our show.
We're a rowdy bunch of super liberal atheists that reside in the state of Utah, who bring you current events and featured content on a semi-weekly basis.
Whether it's us poking fun at the religious right or ranting at the world in which we all reside, we want to borrow your ears for about an hour twice a week.
Hey, and don't forget to tell them the best part about it.
Oh yeah!
The show's free for all.
It is indeed. So if you like free, we're available through iTunes, Overcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, Patreon, and even in full HD video via YouTube. Give us a listen. You won't be sorry.
All right, and now we're going to go into our science part.
If you base medicine on science, you cure people. If you base the design of planes on science, they fly. If you base the design of rockets on science, they reach the moon. It works, bitches.
Yes, science. It works, bitches.
I really misheard that because the first part he said were
kills people.
Yeah,
it's
that's
curious.
what I heard.
He says curious.
He's British.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But
I love it.
I mean, if he was German, it would be kills people, right?
Yeah.
Too soon?
The British just...
Sort of.
All right.
All right, it's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's Elisa.
All right, so I got 2 articles related to GMOs. Okay, so the first one's from geneticliteracyproject.org.
You need to work on your literacy.
I need to work on my being awake at late nights.
Do you want some of my coffee? Well,
No.
it's all gone, sir.
No.
Well, you can't have none.
Offer me your all drunk coffee.
I'm not drunk.
Does GMO corn increase crop yields? 21 years of data confirms it does and provides substantial health benefits. This is by Paul McDavid, Genetic Literacy Project from February 19th, 2018. So the article basically is talking about a meta-analysis done by a group in Italy that looked at all the literature, all the scientific literature on GMOs, particularly whether it provides higher yields and whether it resists things growing on it, basically. Particularly, the author is sort of pissed off that there seems to be a series of assertions made in in the media that says that, for example, in Danny Hakim's 2016 front page analysis in the New York Times, it said, quote, genetic modifications in the United States and Canada has not accelerated increases in crop yields, when in fact this study has actually found that they do. So they analyzed over 6,000 peer-reviewed studies covering 21 years of data, and they found that GMO corn increases yields up to 25% and dramatically decreases dangerous food contaminants. So this is a study published in Scientific Reports. So they found that GMO corn varieties increase crop yields by 5.6 to 24.5%. And they have lower percentages of mycotoxins, fuminisms, and thrycotoxins, which are bad things that grow on crops.
So there.
Yeah. So basically, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and the author of the article really kind of points out that a lot of people are trying to do this on purpose, right? Like, for example, the Hakim article from the New York Times was widely criticized because he just kind of cherry picked parts of an NAS report that said that, quote, there was little evidence that the introduction of genetically modified crops in the United States has led to yield gains beyond those seen in conventional crops. However, if you actually look at it on a whole, like in context, the GMO crops apparently actually do have a higher yield. So, yeah. And then there's graphs. I'm going to not describe the graphs because this is
I love
podcast.
graphs.
It's hard, though. I mean, okay, fine.
Are they 2-axis graphs or 3?
They're bar graphs. The bars are horizontal.
Bar graphs.
The x-axis is change in percent. The y-axis is grain yield. No. But yeah, so check out the article if you want to. A related article I was also sort of encouraged to talk about is from the Des Moines Register.com. Anti-GMO articles tied to Russian sites. So apparently the Russians aren't only trying to influence American political elections, they're trying to fuel suspicion of GMOs because they market themselves as an ecologically clean alternative to genetically engineered food. So whereas there's a lot of GMO crops, for example, in the United States and Canada, in Russia, apparently not so much. And they want to seed suspicion in GMO crops. And they are doing this with their well-known news agencies, which are paid for by the Russian government, RT and Sputnik. So they produced more articles containing the word GMO than 5 other news organizations combined: Huffington Post, Fox News, CNN, Breitbart, and MSNBC. I don't know what you call Breitbart News, but anyways. So RT actually accounted for 34% of GMO-related articles among the 7 sites. Sputnik made up for 19%. So basically, they kind of create these articles with GMO clickbait. So they're embedded in articles that most people would consider negative or distasteful and create an intentional negative reaction. So, for example, the researchers pointed to an RT article titled, quote, "Complex Abortion Debate Emerges Over Zika Virus-Infected Fetuses," that included a link to another article titled, "GMO Mosquitoes Could Be the Cause of Zika Outbreak, Critics Say." So basically they're just trying to seed as much suspicion in GMOs as they can for their own economic benefit. So sort of interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Weird.
Here's the thing. Farmers wouldn't use GMO seeds if they didn't have a higher yield.
Well, yeah. They
or a better yield.
The Italian meta-studies, I think, found a 68% increase in profits if you use GMO. I mean...
If you're making more money, that means you're making more crop and it's better crop.
I'd believe that maybe in the recent years they're starting to get like a natural peak to what they can get. But that's about it. Like not as opposed to baseline to GMO level. I feel like a little stupid having to say this at all, but I'm fairly confident there's actually an increase between the two.
So my wife's family farms, and they're organic. They farm organic. They don't buy anything organic because that shit's too expensive. But they farm organic.
Right. Well, there's a market, right? For that.
Their yield is shit. So if you want to make money, organic is only worth it if you have a ridiculous amount of land, because all you're saving on is some fuel and some passes with some herbicides.
Yeah. When you're presumably you can charge more for your product as a result.
Well, yeah, it's more expensive, but it's not better in any way.
Now, and when you think about this from an ethical standpoint, if you think about how many, we have 7 billion people on the planet, we need to feed them all. It's not an efficient use of our agricultural spaces to use it on organic food,
that argument's
right?
moot right now anyway, because we're not feeding them and we have the food to do it. So
he unfortunately doesn't.
Yeah, but if
we have an overabundance of grain foods,
right,
and we're not giving it to people. So
no, we actually use a lot of that to feed cows
or to make fuel. We burn our food.
But arguably, if you had yet even more food than that, we may
still
be
want to give it to them. We would make
maybe.
more fuel.
Maybe.
I hate agreeing with you.
I actually delved into that a long time ago because I'm like, well, why don't we just make all people have to grow GMOs? Because then we'll have more. And then if we stop having cows, we'll have even more. Wait a minute. We have an overabundance of grain and wheats, and we're not giving it to people already.
You know, there was a debate I had a while back, and I absolutely got crushed. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but essentially it was the debate for vegetarianism, and they talked about the impact of cows. I was just going into the debate saying, like, cows are delicious. So obviously I was not well prepared to win that argument there.
You are correct.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Cows are, in fact,
I needed
delicious.
more support then, I assure you. But no, they did come out with some really hard facts, like how environmentally unfriendly cows can be, or factory farming is. And they're not necessarily saying you have vegetarianism as a solution, but they're saying if you cut red meat from your diet.
The efficiency of meat protein is ridiculously poor. So the efficiency of getting a gram of protein from meat versus a gram of protein from beans, or better yet, fucking crickets.
Yeah, bugs are one of the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there's that argument. And then people are like, why would you eat pigs? They're so smart. My argument there was, if they were so smart, they shouldn't be so fucking delicious. Right?
Are you saying people taste better if they're smarter?
I don't know.
So
only one way to find out. Only one way to find out. You look pretty appetizing, Brandon.
Well, thank you.
Well marbled.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And we've just devolved into cannibalism. Awesome!
That's not true. It's hypothetical cannibalism.
Yeah. Hypothetical cannibalism.
It's completely,
there's a difference.
There's ethical cannibalism.
We're not actually eating people. We're discussing the quality of the meat that they would produce.
Okay.
And weighing against intelligence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why Gumby's like seizing you right now as we speak. Not true, but it'd be funny if he was.
Get in my belly.
Maybe that's why it's so hot in here. We're getting roasted.
Just use a good Greek spice.
Like Windex.
Not that one. I'd say do something culturally appropriate, but I'm Scottish and it's basically salt.
Yeah, it's salt. Or beer. Beer's a seasoning.
It is.
I never heard your opinion on like the whole meat debate there, and like, let's say if we were to, let's say, cut out, let's say, beef from our diet, would you be in support of that? Or I'm talking to Lisa, by the way.
What do I think about cutting out beef from the diet? I mean, if we were all vegetarians, we would, and in our dietary needs were met, I don't see why that would be a bad thing. Yeah, lower greenhouse gases, way more efficient way of making food, and less animal suffering, right?
That's like the ethics of it.
Personally, I would definitely look forward to a time when, I mean, people are looking to make, I don't remember what you call it, fake meat, basically where you're growing meat in a lab and have it be indistinguishable from like a steak, a steak from a real cow. Sign me up.
Yep.
Yeah. So that, I think that's really promising. And I don't think we're that far away from that. So, I mean, right now it's prohibitively expensive. But
so instead of synthahol, it's synthameat.
It's called, I think it's called synthetic meat, which maybe has a bit of a PR issue, but they need to figure out how to market that. But I think that at the point where they can make it roughly cost the same as animal, like a live animal meat. I mean, why would we have animals suffer for no reason? I mean, and then presumably they can possibly get it to the point where it's more efficient. Mm-hmm. And so I think I look forward to that future.
It's just figuring out a way to market it. As soon as you can market something, the cost goes down, right? The first burger was $5,000. And then the second burger that they made was like $50.
What are you talking about? Who?
I think you're pulling numbers out of your ass.
No. I know what he's talking about. It's the efficiency of product.
No. They said it's like 100 times cheaper now than it was when they first developed lab
Whenever
meat.
you develop, the most expensive time in production is the first product you ever create.
You mean for the synthetic meat, you don't mean like... Okay.
So
I'm like, what do you mean
the more
first
you mass
hamburger? You mean the
produce
first synthetic hamburger? Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean like whatever, like cell phones or...
Exactly.
Like my parents, I think, spent $800 in their first VCR, right, in the early 80s. I mean, with inflation, that's like $2,000 now. But like...
No.
And now you get a VCR at a freaking garage sale for 50 cents. So, hey.
I wouldn't pay
Sorry, here's the actual numbers that I was grabbing out of my ass. Lab-grown meat could be on your plate within the next 5 years. For the past few years... The barrier of getting fresh test tube meat into the hands of consumers has been at the cost of production. In 2013, it was around $325,000 to make the stuff in a lab. But the process has been refined, and the cost is now $11.36.
See, the biggest barrier for like fake meat to come out into the market is the ethics of farmers losing their jobs. Like if you think about it now. If you were
can't have millions of animals suffer just because...
If you're President Trump, you don't give a fuck. Those farmers are going to vote for you if you go out and defend them.
You know what? President Trump can't stop this. Forget the ethics. Nobody cares about ethics in terms of making money. However, as soon as it becomes cheaper to manufacture meat if it's identical and you can market it to people and they'll eat it, people are going to do that because it's cheaper and you're not... It's just there's not going to be a market for it. Doesn't fucking matter.
There's still the standouts that are only going to buy
raw water,
real
and
meat,
fucking real wheat.
And at that point, the farmers that have the beef are going to make more money off of less cows because there'll be less people, there'll be less ranchers.
Yeah, it'll be like what's that?
It'll be more expensive.
That Japanese beef,
Kobe.
Yes,
Brian.
It'll be like that. Well, I mean, it's a very small niche, but it's absurdly priced. It'd be like that.
Yeah, so like
the law of supply and demand, where regular beef ends up becoming more expensive.
I think as time goes on and it becomes like people just eat the synthetic meat and it tastes the same, blah blah blah. I think people will be grossed out about the idea of eating a real animal that was once alive. Like, I think it's going to freak people out.
I don't think so because people are now eating placentas.
Wait, what?
Yeah, but that's not the same as
right, but
killing
it's
a creature that has a nervous system and a brain and can feel pain and suffers throughout its life so that you can kill it and eat it. It's not the same thing. I think people will have an aversion to it. I think in 3-4 generations, I don't know.
I think of auto-cannibalism as worse.
Sorry?
Auto-cannibalism.
What the hell is that?
Auto is when you do it to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, some others eat that.
What does that have to do with... Oh, I see.
Okay. Now you went down a weird path there.
You're calling eating your placenta self-cannibalism. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
arguably there, you're consenting to it. It's your own tissue. Nobody's being harmed. So, except for maybe yourself. So, whatever. I don't think it has the same ethical. Yeah.
I don't know. There is still a segment that, love hunting, so
that's what I was going to get into. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, hunt robots in the future.
True. I don't know. I think I would imagine over time there would be an aversion to it. Like you grew up never. I mean, I don't know.
I hope the future's like Westworld. Oh no.
Westworld's terrible. What do you mean?
Well, it'd be a really sweet park. I hope they do a
sentient robots who get raped all the time. How is that good?
Okay, obviously, I was looking at the brighter side. Like we could hunt the animals.
I really hope we create these sentient creatures who can get raped all the time.
As long as they're not the robot,
and have to be enslaved to us without their knowledge.
You know,
I like how Lisa went straight to the rape part.
Yeah. I was thinking, we can hunt robotic animals.
That is like the whole point of Westworld as a park. Like that's the whole fictional basis.
We started the night off by saying rape tweets are bad. Now we're talking about raping robots.
Sentient robots.
Oh, okay.
So a dildo doesn't count as an ascension robot.
No, you can go ahead and have sex with your dildo as much as you want. I don't care.
Interesting.
Well, it doesn't.
It's not sentient unless it was.
It's pretty easy to turn it on.
Yeah, but I know the robotic ethics
jokes are hurting me like lots.
The robotic ethics of all this.
To try to steer it back, there is also a cultural problem regarding the eating of meat, as far as normal, actual, daily allotted meat. Like you're supposed to have something like a deck of cards or the size of your fist. That's all you need. You don't need a 32-ounce New York steak. You don't need 14 burgers.
No. Want? Yes. The other side of it is vegans would be able to eat meat.
Yeah,
this
if they wanted to.
I would go vegan if there was fake meat.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it was easily available and it was cost effective and blah blah blah.
And not tofurkey.
It's not natural or organic, so
isn't that a subset of veganism? Is if you haven't picked it yourself?
Oh, that's fruitarian, where it has to be given freely by the plant. Vegetarianism's murder. You're killing the plant to eat it.
Level 5 vegan. I don't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Yep. I get all of my nutrition from the sun.
It's like, well, we won't have to deal with you for long.
Yeah, fruitarians only eat fruit and nuts.
I'm a gummitarian.
Yeah.
These gummies are good.
Well, good, because that's made from cow bones. Cow bone.
Gelatin.
By the way, yeah, vegetarian's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think we've totally derailed everything.
But we could go a little further.
Well, let's think about it. We talked about robotic ethics and rape.
During the meat segment.
Yeah, so we talked about cannibalism, which kind of had to do something with meat.
It still counts as meat.
Yeah, we talked about factory farming, all from a crop article.
Well, we only have time for one more story, so it's between you and I. You want a paper, rock, scissors for it?
Pick the gun.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, Destin will give you one.
That was very compelling.
Winner's choice.
On radio.
Yeah.
It was very
visual.
Sorry, we should have been announcing that like a sportcaster.
Yeah. Color commentating the rock paper scissors.
Sorry, guys.
That would have been spellbinding.
So I think I drew the short straw in some ways. I got the Newt Gingrich article. Just reading the first paragraph is already oh no. Former U.S. House Speaker Newt Gingrich thinks there's a bigger threat to Christianity than terrorist groups. You know what it is? It's not education. It's not the end of the world. It's atheists and secular philosophy.
In a way, that's kind of education.
Actually, he's right. We are a threat, and we're growing. The nuns are growing, right? He's right. We are a threat to his beliefs. Yes.
Maybe the scale of threat that you and I are thinking of is a little different, but
continue.
Admittedly, I thought of the atheist movement as a fairly peaceful one, but I mean, there are those of us who are actually violent in the execution thereof. But no.
No, I wasn't saying we're violent. I'm saying that if you're worried about having your beliefs be the mainstream and be the thing that children are raised to believe and be the thing that's in the court system, the default, then it is a risk. It is.
I would
not a physical risk.
I would agree. Only for the fact it's like I don't want to see Christians dead. I just don't really. I just want to see kind of a version of population control.
That's not what I was saying.
No, but I mean dying out in a fashion. But
the belief can die out.
Yeah,
the humans no.
He was giving a speech at a lawyers event where he mentioned the rise of atheism and secularism in America and other Western societies. He implored resigns about 300 new members from the Ave Maria School of Law to become the centers of resistance to this new threat. Of course, us versus them, that sort of BS. And he wants the listeners, some of his listeners, to become staunch defenders of the American way. He further cited that secularism was a dominant tone in many American universities, school publishing mediums, and, of course, Hollywood. Because anytime it's the evil left, it always involves actors.
But he's right. He's totally right. If you go to university, you don't meet a lot of religious people. If you look at Hollywood and you look at, I don't know, for the most part, they're not, you know what I mean? They're way less religious than the average person.
I think that's the funny thing about it is he's trying to spin it as a bad thing. This is terrible. And it's like, no, you're right. You're right, Newt.
Yeah.
But it's almost validating, right? To be like, rather than being ignored and being like, oh, this is not something that's in any way a threat. Oh, yeah, he's right. Like, this is something that's growing.
But this also reminds me a little bit of the scares in the 60s of the blood-sucking communists. But
red commie bastard.
Sorry, I'll let you finish your, and then we can debate it more. Keep explaining your article.
He said either the radical secularists will succeed in controlling the government and driving religion out of American life, or the people who believe in faith will succeed in controlling government and insist that you cannot impose radical values on American people. Of course, it doesn't leave room for any sort of secular government that's like, yeah, you do your thing. We're going to run the country without assuming that everyone has to be a churchgoer. For Grinch, this is actually printed directly from the article. For Grinch, only one side will prevail between the two beliefs, as the factions that can never assimilate. He has complete faith, however, that religion will win. I left that typo in for exactly that reason. But if it's based on a quote from the actual context there, if it was based on a quote from Pete, I wouldn't be surprised.
They actually did call him Grinch in the article. It's awesome.
Instead of Gingrich.
Yeah. Like I said, probably a typo, but...
Freudian slip, maybe?
He grew up as a Lutheran, actually. He converted to Catholicism in 2009 following his marriage to Callista Bisek, who was Catholic. His wife actually is the current ambassador to the Vatican. I don't want to get into nepotism right now, but yeah. He's also one of Trump's staunchest supporters who believe the country is moving in the right direction. He's no longer active in politics, but he worked as Trump's consultant during the campaign. Yeah. Right direction? I don't know if I want to go with that. This has been mentioned before, not necessarily here, but I wanted to go with it again. People like Newt Gingrich believe the left is ruining America with stuff like gay marriage. But he himself is an exemplar of what would be considered behavior incongruous with maintaining marriage. 2 divorces behind him, both of which he sought to annul to marry his current wife. Very traditional.
You have to get your marriage annulled to get married in the Catholic Church again.
I'm not saying that he was wrong to do it. I'm just saying it doesn't strike me as...
Saying it's hypocritical.
Yeah. Because isn't the going tenet in most churches the marriage is forever sort of thing? Till death do you part?
I don't know. I mean, I know a Catholic guy who got his first marriage annulled so he can get married in the Catholic Church again. It's sort of, I don't even really know how he reconciled. I don't really think he thinks about it that much. I think he just wanted to divorce the first one and get another one, marry the second one. And he just figured out that that's the loophole you have to jump through to do it. Like, you don't think he really...
In Canada, it's just a 2-year contract.
I think I can see why he thinks atheism's worse than Al-Qaeda radicalism.
Did he say this?
It was the start of the article.
I mean, I think that it's a bigger threat to him for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking. What are the nuns up to now in the States? 30%? Is it 20%? Whatever. Some way bigger than however many. And the number of people that are not religious is growing more and more. Like, it's not like there are some people who are converting to radical Islam more and more, but not nearly at the rate of people converting to secularism, atheism, agnosticism. Like, it's all...
And we don't get too many
converting,
radical atheists.
And I just think
in the name of nothing.
That's what was going through my head.
I just think it's a little bit insulting to be conflated between a threat like Al Qaeda or ISIS as with atheism.
Wow, because he's
credible threat versus.
We are for what he wants, which is, like I said, religion in schools, religion in government, a Christian-dominated country. We are a way bigger threat to that than Islam is.
Yeah, if you look at that,
he's not wrong.
They're not a threat. They're they promote Catholicism and Christianity
because they give you an enemy to work against.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the Al Qaeda thing is an applause line, right?
Yeah.
Like atheism's attractive. Nobody looks at Al Qaeda at first glance and thinks, "Holy fuck, they make so much sense."
Well, no, it is attractive to some people. But I mean, the way our culture. I mean, they're right. Like mainstream media, like very rarely. I mean. I remember the old show "Touched by an Angel" and whatever what's the one with the
where did the angel touch you?
Touched by an uncle.
What was the show with the father was the minister and all the kids and Jessica
Seventh
Heaven, yeah. But there are those, but there really isn't a huge religious presence in most TV and movie. I mean, it's very
not like as a central. Not as a central
almost like an underlying assumption sometimes.
Yeah,
but
that's just kind of generic Americana.
Not what we get up here. A lot of the stuff that you get right in the States, there is a lot of crazy ass religious fucking.
Yeah,
that's on your radio dial.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think that atheism, secularism is growing. And he's correct that it's a threat. I personally don't think it's a bad thing, but he's not wrong that for what he wants, he's.
That's the thing is he's spinning it as a bad thing, but it's not.
Well, yeah, I mean,
kids are becoming more knowledgeable. What are we gonna do?
That's just it. Like at least if the way I would do run a secular government, I'm not gonna say it's illegal to be a churchgoer. I'm not gonna say you have to be an atheist. Like I don't really care what you want. But you can't impose that on other people. That's the key, and I think that's the undertone of what he considers a threat. Is no, I want to impose my shit on other people.
From what you read, you said that he thinks that atheists are going to impose this on
oh yeah,
people.
I found that most ironic.
Yeah. I don't know of. The thing is, how can you impose any belief on something? You either believe something or you don't. And, it's not my fault I'm an atheist. It's not my fault that I can't believe the thing you're saying because it's so implausible to me. Like, I can't help what I think, what I believe, what I think is true based on what
It's hard to indoctrinate somebody into atheism. It's easy to be indoctrinated into Christianity. Because you're taught not to question.
It's it's those evil liberal professors creating the mind thought memes.
But I mean, honestly, universities are very secular,
yeah.
and I mean, I don't.
Well,
I
most
mean,
of them.
When David, what's his face, Silverman said that, have you ever walked into a room full of 1,000 atheists? I'm like, yeah, I've gone to the American Astronomy Association or Society's annual convention of 4,000 people, and I'm sure the vast majority of them are atheists.
It's you were mentioning about government involvement. It's kind of I was talking to my in-laws about they were really upset that. There was a student summer program campaign that liberals stated that you have to be pro-choice to be part of, and that will create a lot of concerns.
Yeah.
But if you look at what not being pro-choice is, it's that you're imposing your beliefs on someone, and if the fact that you're not giving them a choice it shows that.
Well, yeah, that's another one of those awful, like, it's great press for the pro-life side. Where they can make it sound like that everyone will be getting abortions. We will be killing babies if the pro-choice wins. It's like there will be dead babies in clinics.
I think the right has better spin doctors than the left. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
it's really hard to.
They're better at spin.
Okay, but the right is more about appealing to your emotions, which is a lot easier, right, and not making like a logical argument, which is a lot harder to appeal to people.
That and people on the right, that's just it. Like on the left, we don't think we need to appeal to anything because here's the logic, here's the fact, this is this.
Right.
Where do you go from there? Right.
Can I close with a short little passage?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you who said it after. I'm a Democrat because I believe no man or group of men is good enough to be trusted with uncontrolled power over others. And the higher the pretension of such power, the more dangerous, I think, both to rulers and the subjects. Hence, theocracy is the worst of all governments. If you must have a tyrant, a robber baron is far better than an inquisitor. But the inquisitor who mistakes his own cruelty and lust of power and fear for the voice of heaven will torment us infinitely more, because he torments us with the approval of his own conscience, and his better impulses appear to him as temptations. A metaphysic held by the rulers with the force of religion is a bad sign. It forbids them, like the Inquisitor, to admit any grain of truth or good in their opponents. It abrogates the ordinary rules of morality, and it gives a seemingly high, super-personal sanction to all ordinary human passions by which, like other men, the rules will frankly be actuated. In other words, wholesome doubt. That was from C.S. Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Or Makandi Singh.
Who's also known as a super Christian.
Yeah, he started as an atheist.
Yep, and he became a Christian. It is a really cool passage. I've actually read it before. So as soon as you started, I'm like, I think that's C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, right.
It was Makandi Singh.
All right, so I guess we'll end that one there, and we'll go into listener feedback. So this is really cool. We got an email from Will Driver. Did Corey cover this last time? Because I wasn't here. Cool. Will Driver was on our show before. He's really funny. First, he said that the episode titled "It Only Works When Angela Says It" was hilarious, and and when we discussed that Will should come back on for another appearance, he said he would be interested in that, and that it was a lot of fun last time. The main reason for his email was that he's doing a kidney donation and wants to spread information about the way he's doing it. He's doing an altruistic donation in order to kick off a kidney chain. For an explanation of a kidney chain, when a person needs a kidney, oftentimes someone steps up to donate one to them, but may not be a match. If the non-matching donor agrees to donate a kidney to anyone, as long as the original person they plan to donate for gets one, they join a kidney paired donor program.
Okay.
Wow, this is poorly.
The idea is that eventually everyone.
This is the normal way, right? So when this happens, you normally have 2 donors and 2 recipients. Now, if someone were to donate without a recipient in mind, like Will, there ends up being an extra kidney to donate, which is used to donate to another person who has another paired donor, continuously leaving an extra kidney to donate. That's called a kidney chain. On average, a kidney chain spans about 7 donations. The longest one on record is 82. So 82 people are alive because of one altruistic donor.
Cool.
Right? So most people spend over 3 years on the waiting list for a kidney. Half of the people waiting will die before they get one. In the U.S., that's roughly, RUFFLY, Corey, 17,000 people a year. Yes, in the middle of this speech about kidneys, I lipped Corey for his spelling. For now, kidney chains are the most efficient and effective way to help people very like to die of renal failure. I'm sure he meant likely.
Quit being a dick to Corey.
I've been very nice so far this show.
You have, but now you're being mean again.
I also provided some links. So there's cdc.gov/kidney disease/pdf/kidney_factsheet.pdf. Sure you all got that?
Yep.
The other one is niddk.nih.gov/health-information/health-statistics/kidney/disease, not slash.
Noted.
And the other one was kidney.org/ATOS/content/kidney-transplant. Y'all got that good?
Not that one.
Okay. It's okay. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Well, you're pretty amazing for being willing to do that.
Yeah.
Hats off.
Yeah, no doubt. Patreon, no new patrons, but you can be our first new patron in weeks by going to patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast and sign up for $1 an episode. Special thanks to our top patron, Positively Skeptical. Sorry. Special thanks to our top patrons, Basit.
Hello.
Lachlan. Daryl, Aaron, Lisa, Rob, and Positively Skeptical.
Where's Destin Sucks?
Alden's cheap, I guess.
He felt that might be a little bit over the top.
Yeah. No new reviews on Facebook or Apple Podcasts. It's starting to get a bit disheartening. If you go rate the show on Apple Podcasts or on Facebook, then we'll read your review on the air, even if it's a bad one. Wow, he's getting desperate for attention. Plug your stuff. Corey's interview on Podcaster's Happy Life came out. Also, lots of extra Brainstorm interviews, and Corey and I will be doing more Positively Skeptical soon, as long as Corey doesn't delete 2 episodes at once again. So we recorded 2 episodes that were really well done, and then he lost them. So that's why there's only been 2 episodes out. We actually had 4 recorded. So this Tuesday, we're going to re-record them. They're going to suck compared to the originals. And then we're going to record 2 more.
Fuck,
as long as Corey doesn't fucking
much?
lose it.
It sounds
my only
suspicious.
day off.
It sounds like an excuse.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Anybody else have anything they want to plug?
There's a local organ donor drive. Unfortunately, I don't remember all the details, but there's a kid who needs a donation in Regina here.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a bone marrow one.
Yeah, I would encourage all the local listeners to look into it if you're able to.
Yeah, they're looking for people between 18 and 35.
Yep.
I was going to go, but I'm beyond 35.
I was just thinking,
are you
so
sure?
am I.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm too old to marrow.
Yes.
To marrow.
Forever 20.
420.
Exactly. Because that's how you stay forever 20.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurt too.
Nobody else has anything to plug?
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess we have. That was the first one that I was going to read out. Then I changed my mind.
Do I get to do my book reading?
Sure.
Do I have time?
Sure. You can do yours.
We
That
have
way I won't do mine.
30 minutes.
Oh, God. My book reading will not be that long.
Go.
Are you doing one?
Well, let's start with it.
What's happening?
You're going.
Okay, I'm going.
I was doing one because I didn't. Because Corey was like,
What? You were doing one?
yeah, because right on here it said,
No,
book
Corey.
excerpt, poem, or quote to finish the episode. I'm not sure who gets to do this week.
What the fuck? Corey told me I could do it.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Yes, but there was also the part where you might not have been here.
And then on Facebook, did you see on Facebook when I?
Yeah, I said, you see how I posted back? Get off my fucking book. No, I didn't say it that way, but I was mad. And then I volunteered to duel with you about the definition of feminism.
I thought you were just volunteering to duel with me just because.
I wanted to pick the form of dueling.
What was the form of dueling you were thinking of,
Well,
Dave?
I don't know.
Somebody said feminism dueling?
Yeah. Who has the better definition of feminism?
No, that's
that
not,
way I could win.
Let's not do that. That'll take all night.
Then I would win.
You probably would.
That's so shitty at it.
Read your
That was
book.
a sour look.
Read your damn book.
All right, fine. I feel like you guys don't really want my book now. I
I
don't
want
know.
to hear it. I want to read that. If you have Sapiens, right?
Yeah.
I
want to
question
read
Gumby's
that book.
ability to read, so.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Okay, so this book, it's called Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. I'm just going to give a little bit of background, if that's okay, on the book. I didn't choose a very long passage, so I'll just talk a bit about the book. It is written by a history professor who was asked to create kind of a survey course talking about the whole history of all of humanity. And so he did that for many years, and this book came out of the development of that course. It's a really, really fascinating book because of his perspective. He basically is trying to address the issue of why are humans special? Why are we different than other animals on this planet? And the long and short of it, what he basically comes up with is that humans are special because of our ability to tell stories. So this passage is going to refer to 2 previous things that he talked about earlier in the chapter. First is the cognitive revolution, which is what he refers to as the time about 70,000 years ago, when in his basic thesis is that humans went from, we were biologically the same as we are now effectively, except that we got the ability to tell stories, to have language, to gossip, and that this gave us an evolutionary edge. This section I'm about to read comes right after another section where he talks about the value of gossiping within human communities. So I think that's pretty much all you need to know in order to get this passage. So here we go. So in the wake of the cognitive revolution, gossip helped Homo sapien to form larger and more stable bands. But even gossip has its limits. Sociological research has shown that the maximum natural size of a group bonded by gossip is about 150 individuals. Most people can neither intimately know nor gossip effectively about more than 150 human beings. Even today, a critical threshold in human organizations falls somewhere between this magic number. Below this threshold, communities, businesses, social networks, and military units can maintain themselves based mainly on intimate acquaintance and rumor mongering. There is no need for formal ranks, titles, and law books to keep order. A platoon of 30 soldiers or even a company of 100 soldiers can function well on the basis of intimate relations with a minimum of formal discipline. A well-respected sergeant can become king of the company and exercise authority even over commissioned officers. A small family business can survive and flourish without a board of directors, a CEO, or an accounting department. But once the threshold of 150 individuals is crossed, things can no longer work that way. You cannot run a division with thousands of soldiers the same way you run a platoon. Successful family businesses usually face a crisis when they grow larger and hire more personnel. If they cannot reinvent themselves, they go bust. How did Homo sapiens manage to cross this critical threshold, eventually founding cities comprising tens of thousands of inhabitants and empires ruling hundreds of millions? The secret was probably the appearance of fiction. Large numbers of strangers can cooperate successfully by believing in common myths. Any large-scale human cooperation, whether a modern state, a medieval church, an ancient city, or an archaic tribe, is rooted in common myths that exist only in people's collective imagination. Churches are rooted in common religious myths. Two Catholics who have never met can nevertheless go together on crusade or pool funds to build a hospital because they both believe that God was incarnated in human flesh and allowed himself to be crucified to redeem our sins. States are rooted in common national myth. Two Serbs who have never met might risk their lives to save one another because they both believe in the existence of the Serbian nation, the Serbian homeland, and the Serbian flag. Judicial systems are rooted in common legal myths. Two lawyers who have never met can nevertheless combine efforts to defend a complete stranger because they both believe in the existence of laws, justice, human rights, and the money paid out in fees. Yet none of these things exist outside the stories that people invent and tell one another. There are no gods in the universe, and no nations, no money, no human rights, no laws, and no justice outside the common imagination of human beings. So that's the quote that I found. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Recommend the book.
I was only going to read an excerpt from Nietzsche.
I feel like this was the lighter tone.
Yeah. Much.
What's you looking
It's funny because the first thing I picked out, I didn't catch the part where you said, no, it's mine. All I saw was that you wanted to fight me for some reason. I didn't look back.
I still don't agree with you working at work and not checking your Facebook at work like good people do. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I go most of my days without Facebook.
That list is long and extensive.
But the first thing I had picked out that I was going to read was it's about chimpanzees, and they're taught in zoos to communicate with sign language.
Right.
And they consider us chimpanzees, but we don't consider them human. Right?
We consider them apes.
They consider us their equals. So a lot of the keepers will see something like a chimpanzee showing a person through the glass how to open the latch and let him out. And then a lot of people just laugh and take pictures, and then the chimpanzee is confused. Right? So there's I just saw that there was a bit of a parallel with that. Anyway.
The chapter I just read from has, discussions of chimpanzees and their organizational structure and makes relations to that. It's really, anyways, I highly recommend the book. It's a very interesting way of looking at the world, and it actually kind of changed how I perceive a lot of things. So.
You guys ever wonder how savages chimpanzees can be?
Oh, they're fucking brutal.
Absolutely.
I've seen Planet of the Apes.
Well, that's
they will
pretty
cave
cool.
in. They will cave in other chimpanzees' skulls.
They castrate other chimpanzees.
Good to know.
Yeah. Or try being a different primate going through their fucking territory.
You're dead.
Yeah.
They probably won't mess with gorillas, but oh my goodness, anything.
They'd mess with one gorilla. as a full group.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And spider monkeys. Fuck those things. Hate spider monkeys.
I like gibbons.
Have you had a bad experience?
No.
that was sharp.
Gumby's been touched by a monkey.
They're not monkeys, bro. They're apes. Touched by the ape.
No, the spider monkey.
Spider monkey.
Spider monkey.
Is a spider monkey a monkey? It's not a spider ape. It's just like a...
No, when I was in Panama, I heard a bunch of stories of spider monkeys and stuff, and I actually saw a few while I was there. There's spider monkey crossings and stuff. It's pretty cool.
The worst part is the ones he didn't see.
Yeah.
In India, monkeys are a huge problem. They steal. They've learned to live with the culture and like all the pollution, and they've learned how to open up wrappers and everything like that.
And they work in groups. And
so
one will distract the other one will steal food.
So what they have an animal control officer that comes in, cages them, and then releases them into the wild. But they're not adapted for the wild. So a tiger comes and kills them most of the time. Or something.
I've heard about where like you'd have one monkey who would start a ruckus at the front of a shop, and the remainder of them would break into the back of the shop.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
No, not at all. It's just funny that
I love how monkeys can make that coordination, but me playing my video games coordinating with other intellectual human beings, it's impossible.
Yeah, well, that's because, fuck you fucking loser. I'm going to do that. This is my game. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
I came here to...
And that's a 4-year-old.
Yeah. I came here not to hear language like that, Destin.
Yeah. Oh, shut up. All right, so I guess...
Wrong place.
I guess we'll wrap it there and go into our outro. You can check out the show notes at brainstormpodcast.com, our website, brainstormblog.net. Thanks to our financial supporters, Utah Outcast, Basit, Will, Aaron, Daryl, Alden, Lackland, Lisa, Magnus, Michael, Nathan, Positively Skeptical, Rob, and Stephanie. If you want to join them and help out the show grow, then you can do that at patreon.com/brainstormpodcast. You can also support us by donating to our GoFundMe for the conference at gofundme.com/shift-2-reason-conference-2018. That's terrible. We're over $1,000 and we'll likely start booking things soon. Join us every second week when we broadcast live on brainstormradio.net. Our next show is on March 16th, and our guest will be Jean Aquiard, formerly of the Polyaskery podcast and friend to many in the atheist podcast community. We'll probably talk about polyamory and atheism. Thanks to David Silverman for joining us. You can find more of his stuff at atheists.org. Thanks to Dave for our intro music. Thanks for Aaron Raby for doing our new intro voiceover that we didn't do because Dave couldn't find the new intro. Thanks to Alex Caper-Murdoch for doing the voiceover work for our ads. And thanks to Jason Como for our outro music. You can find his stuff at loststateofmind.com. All music played is either with permission or under the SOCAN license to play. For more information on SOCAN, check out the music license info page on our website, brainstormblog.net. Remember to give us a rating, a thumbs up, or a fave on your favorite podcatcher. Join our Facebook group, like our page, follow us on Twitter, share the show, and spread the word. Man, he's just desperate for attention. For live listeners, stick around for the after show. You can go to brainstormafterhours.com and listen to the bonus content before it goes to Patreons only. Thanks for listening, and remember, the truth matters.
Take care, everyone.
This is an opinion-based podcast. Each person on the podcast is responsible for their own opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the panel. Any guests or anyone associated with the people on the podcast, such as spouses, partners, children, other family members, friends, or employers. No one person speaks for the podcast with the possible exception of Corey, and he doesn't speak for anyone else on the show. The Brainstorm Podcast does not represent the views of our sponsors. We just wanted to say thanks to everyone who listens to us, shares the show, gives us a rating on iTunes or Stitcher, or supports us through Patreon and Gumroad. We don't have a lot of interactions with our listeners, but what we have had proves that we attract some of the best people around. Smart, kind, and cool. An audience truly worthy of the titles hardcore and woo-free. Thanks for helping us make the world a smarter place.